Well, bank nationalization, it's something that we try to generally avoid in this country, but in Russia, some of the largest banks are mostly state-owned. Andrei Kostin is the chairman of Russia's VTB Bank. He joins us now. It's nearly 80% owned by the government, founded by Boris Yeltsin in the 90s. You say it's a strength to have the government involvement with the bank. Why is that?
Well, I think particularly over the last couple of years, everybody felt that it's a strength when the government's supporting you. But in Russia, I mean, there's no ideological issue. The Russian government declared a few years ago already the program of partial sale of Russian state-owned banks, and that was happening. So, but definitely during the crisis, the role of the government strengthened, including the banking sector in Russia.
Can you give us some examples of that? I know you were just with Mr. Putin this week, traveling with him. What is his perspective on the state of the Russian banking system at this point in time? Since you IPO'd in 2007, the shares have been hit dramatically with the global economic downturn. What is your perspective and his on where things stand now?
First of all, I'd like to say that Mr. Putin is quite friendly to Russian banks. But definitely this year, the Russian government will continue to provide support, not at the scale which was last year, but still substantial support both to the banking sector if necessary and into the real economy sector as well.
In Davos at the World Economic Forum, you met with bank leaders from around the world, U.S. Congressman Barney Frank, you met with lawmakers, and the focus in Davos, really the sense that I got there, was it was about what regulation will we see globally for banks. What was the main argument that you heard coming out of Davos, and was there any sort of cohesion among bank leaders from around the world on where we can move forward with bank regulation?
I think first of all, everybody agreed that we do need some kind of changes in regulations. There's not that the bank is opposing it, and the government officials are for this, but what we definitely felt that we need a better level of cooperation and dialogue. Because the banking community basically was concerned that probably too much regulations will create obstacles and problems for further development of the whole financial industry.
But yet it was a lack of regulation and oversight that led in a large part to the crisis that we're grappling with now.
That's true, but what the bank is saying that better regulation, not necessarily more regulation. So I mean that makes a very big difference. So I think everybody accepts that we need more regulations, particularly maybe on the global level.
Looking at VTB and where you want to put your money to work, is the United States an attractive investment for you right now, and what U.S. assets might you be interested in acquiring?
No, I mean, what we're planning is probably to buy or establish brokerage operations, which we plan to do. But that's, again, we are focused on Russia, we are focused on CIS countries. But in order to have a relationship with the Western investors and to deal with the Russian stocks and Russian debt papers, we need something in the U.S.
Looking at Russia's future and looking at commodities, where else is there to go for the Russian economy as a whole? Looking outside of natural gas, looking outside of oil, what's the next big thing in your opinion for the Russian economy?
I think particularly as a consequences of this crisis, the Russian government as well as the business community understand that unless Russia creates a new economy based on a new technology, on high-tech technology, on innovative technology, Russia would continue to be very much dependent on gas and oil, and that will create additional volatility and problems in case of any instability in the world. So I think that will be the focus for the next decade.
What have you learned, Andrei, from the financial crisis that has rocked the banking system around the world, particularly here in the United States? Have you learned anything from the missteps of Wall Street?
Well, I will not over-exaggerate probably this. I mean, maybe because I was taught in a Russian university, I was taught that the cycles are the part of our world. So the cycles always happen, and to many extent, I think our fears were over-exaggerated. The fears we had 12 months ago, 18 months ago, when everybody was talking about the second Great Depression and everything. So I think definitely what I learned from the point of view of my corporation, not on the global scenery, is that you should really stick to a very basic principles of risk management. And when there's deviation from this, that's when you can run into a problem.
risk management.
Yeah,
We'll leave it there. Andrei Kostin, thank you so much.
Thank you.